Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Try F podcast, where we try not to F the podcast up. How are you today, Cody?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
I am fantastic. As good as I could
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I will begin reading and just stop me when you have any thoughts. So, all right. So, Genesis chapter 19. And there came two angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they came unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have two daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. Therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. So, priorities.
I think it makes sense. Because good choice. That's a nice hat.
I'm going Butch Bulldike.
We're live.
Hi, Callie.
Gary says hi. That was funny.
Yeah, so anyway. So Lot's
right, so I think I don't know if I would have made the same choice as Lot, like giving up my daughter to these dudes, but so I think what he was trying to prevent was breeding more Nephilim, because these dudes wanted to bang angels, right? Because that's how you make monsters.
I don't think they
back
knew.
In the day.
That is interesting. I haven't heard that. So you think that they knew these guys were angels? They weren't just like wanting.
Okay.
Look okay?
Yeah, it does. You look great. Whirl and Bert.
Right.
All right. Anyway.
So you think that they knew they were angels?
Yeah.
That's interesting. See, because what I heard is that there was a culture at the time where they would like attack foreigners that tried to enter towns, and they'd rape them and run them off, basically, or R-word them and run them off, basically. But I'd never heard of them thinking that they knew that they were angels. Interesting.
I mean, I don't think so. Like when you talk about the flood story, I don't think God was like. He says all. I mean, we've had this argument, I guess. When he says all flesh was corrupt, I guess this is where our division in thinking is landing us here. So when he says all flesh was corrupt, I think that was like they were making like horse people or minotaurs, whatever they're called,
chimeras,
and stuff like that. Yeah, chimeras.
Okay.
So, I don't think God destroys people unless they have like animal genetics in their blood. You know what I mean? I don't think God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah for being morally corrupt. I think it's like they're actually like corrupted flesh.
Okay.
So, and what was going on with these angels was like it's showing you what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. It's like these guys want to bang angels because that's what they've already been doing.
Let me push back a little bit. Why would it be bad ethically for a man to have animal blood, as it were?
He's not human. He doesn't have the spark of life.
Why is that bad?
I would say you're probably replacing you're probably replacing a set of chromosomes. I don't know which way it works, but you would be um, putting in the chromosomes of a corrupt something that's not of God, right? I don't know how to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think, but I don't want to make your argument for you. So I
So
think I know what you're saying.
like you remember not David Irving. The guy that
Check.
claimed to found the blood of Jesus?
Ron Wyatt, I think was his
Ron
name.
Wyatt. Okay.
Yeah.
So when they look at the blood in that documentary, they're like, the mother's side has this many chromosomes, and the father's side has 23 chromosomes, and so put them together, it makes 40 something chromosomes, right? But Jesus's blood chromosomes, his father was spiritual, so he only had like half the chromosomes, only the mother's side, right?
Right.
So I think it would probably work the same way with chimeras, but you wouldn't have the spark of life or the divinity of God in you because that part's been replaced with something else.
I don't know if this is going to be of interest to you, but later on in my book series, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm actually supposed to get there in not the next book I'm writing, but the book after that in the series I have planned. I'm actually going to be writing about chimeras. I take the exact opposite angle. Like, they're still people, even though they were genetically spliced, I guess. My argument being they didn't have a choice in the matter, so how could they be inherently evil if they didn't choose to be, like, half animal or whatever?
They're not inherently evil. A dog isn't evil, but it's not a human.
Well, why is God destroying them then if they're not inherently evil?
Because he needs room for his creation, his pure creation.
You don't think he could make, like, more room?
Yeah, he could, but I don't want to live in a world with monsters. I think that's the difference between the Old Testament and New Testament.
I don't
It's a
know if I
spiritual battle
care.
now.
I'm just me. I don't care if you're half horse or not. Could ask you for a
So
ride,
you would
maybe.
be okay with like gorilla dudes walking around, because they would just kill people, right?
Well, if they're not sentient,
Like a
but
dude
what
with
if they're
an alligator
sentient?
head. He's just like walking around and eating people, and you're like, yeah, this is great.
I don't think they would do that if they were sentient, though. That's the thing. It's like if they're not sentient, then they're not human. Like, the criterion for human is sentience. So, the ability to go, should I do that? Is that the right thing to do? I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be sentient.
So you don't think the chimeras were sentient then? You think they were
No,
basically
I mean,
they were
like-
animalistic?
If you look at like mythology, like minotaurs were always like overly grumpy, and stuff like that. Like, they all have personalities in the mythology. So I mean, I would, and they are what they are. Like a snake's a snake. It's gonna bite you. So yeah, I mean, I don't. If it's not human, it's not human.
That's interesting. Well,
I mean, it's
obviously we
like-
disagree with that.
but,
I'm
I
just
mean,
trying to chase your idea down a little
like,
bit.
God created us in his image. Like, obviously he doesn't want that corrupted. So like, when we go corrupting that image, he's got to say, hey, cut that shit out.
Yeah, but is he going to punish somebody who didn't have a choice in being corrupted? So I don't know how
Yeah.
I don't know how making a
'Cause it's an
chimera.
animal. It's like,
But what if it's not though? What if it's a person? Like, what if you get
I
like
don't-
if you're a mermaid and you've got a brain or whatever?
no, dude, there's like a spark in your eye when you're sentient. Some people lose it. Have you seen people lose it?
Yes. I mean, I don't know
Okay,
if I would
so-
call it. The way I look at it is it's like it all has to
If
do
a
with the
person
will
can
though.
lose it, then a chimera can lose it.
Yes, but let me push back a little bit. So the way that I look at it, like when people lose that spark in their eye, as you call it, I think there's a process that makes that happen. I think it's like when you're following your hedonistic desires, when you're following your impulses, and you're not stopping, and you're not pausing, and you're not being introspective. I think over time, people can, in a certain respect, become less and less human, as it were, because you lose that ability to be introspective. You just become reactionary. And so you just lose your impulse control. So it's like in that way you can kind of de-evolve, if you want to use that terminology. Although I hate the evolution paradigm, as I've said ad nauseum. But I do think that if people listen
So
to that animal instinct, like if they're
Tumnus from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was a real dude, you think that he could achieve ascendance, for lack of a better term?
yes, like if the person, because what you're really looking at is an external, like a manifestation of the duality of humanity anyway. In the case of a chimera. If we're gonna, like, again, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you, but we're just chasing the idea. So I would say it's like a manifestation or externalization of the same dichotomous nature of humanity anyway. So the more that person listens to, like, the spirit, as it were, they're well behaved, they listen to objective morality, they continue to stop and pause and be introspective. The more they do that, the more human, quote unquote, they become. The more they listen to their impulses, their quote unquote fallen nature, the more animalistic they'll become. That would be my argument. But it's all rooted in the will. If there's going to be chimeras, that's kind of how I would picture a scenario like that myself.
I don't understand what you're saying. What's your point?
Well, my point is, I don't think God is going to punish a human, even if a human looks like an animal, because these are all spiritual. Like, to be human is more than just a body.
It's like if you, I mean, you used to raise dairy cows. If you had a cow that, like, had a broken leg or something,
Right.
I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, if you're out in the middle of the woods and your horse breaks its leg, like, is it cruel to shoot the horse?
No, but it's because the thing is going to continue to suffer and be in miserable pain if you don't.
Right.
It's a
if you
mercy
were half
killing.
goat, you don't think you would be suffering?
Well, you could. I mean,
You
if
have digestive problems, reproduction problems, because ladies would be like, "You're disgusting."
Well, then it'd be a failed experiment, yeah.
And then you would have half goat kids, and just the whole thing is a mess, dude. You don't want that. You want God's image, and that's why he's like, cut that shit out. You can't make half goat people, okay? I'm gonna kill all of you.
I don't know. Like, if they're in pain, I see what you're saying. But if they're not in pain and the experiment works, then you lose the ground for mercy killing.
So God's like, yeah, you know what? The guy with the I don't know, the monkey arms, like, that's pretty cool. I'll let that one slide.
Why not?
Because it's not God's image, bro.
But he did give us a will.
No.
So can we not alter that? The part of having a will is being able to exert your reality into the world around you. It's not just to make a choice. The part of the aspect of having a will is being able to influence your environment, to influence things. That's part of the bargain of having free will. So arguably, if you want to turn yourself into a goat man, you could.
Yeah,
whether that's advisable is another question.
God's will. It has to be God's will.
No, it certainly wouldn't be God's will, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's sinful. It just means you're exerting your own will. Like, if I turn right versus left.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's sinful to corrupt the image of God. But if that's not necessarily sinful, then it's not necessarily mean to kill all of those abominations of the image of God.
Well, that's God's prerogative. I'm just saying why. On what ethical grounds would God kill them?
Because it is the corrupted image of God. It's corrupt.
But why is it corrupt? What about being an animal is corrupt?
I'm not saying being an animal is corrupt. I'm saying the image of God was corrupt. So, like, God made us in his image, that's humans, right? And
but that's not physical
alter
form,
that
though.
image, when you alter that image, you are corrupting the image of God. That is a sin.
What do you think being made in the image of God is? Because we don't have, like, God doesn't have a body. So what does it mean to be made in the image of God?
I think it has to do with everything, really. Like the entire way we're designed and the way we think and the way we talk and literally everything.
But there's a spiritual reality that's like behind the flesh, because obviously to be made in the image of God can't mean physical appearance, because number one, we all look different. Number two, there's two different genders. Number three, there's different races. Like, that can't be a physical analogy. So what does it actually mean? And if it's something that's not physical, how does a chimera violate that?
Humans are bipedal. I mean, that's...
God's not bipedal, though.
It's not like you can, like, mistake a human for something else. Okay?
Yes, but why? I agree with you, but why?
I don't know. It's the way we're designed.
Yeah, well, I would argue it's because we can understand God's moral law. Like, the moral law is a description of God's nature, and so we have the propensity to do good. We have the propensity to understand good, not necessarily, like, understand evil, but, we have the ability to understand who God is.
No, we don't. We have the propensity to allow God's will to happen and reject our own will. That's the only thing it is. Like, animals are different than us because animals...
What I mean, though, is you understand...
They only think about what they're doing. They don't have kindness and empathy for other people.
What I mean, though, is that you understand what beauty is as an abstract concept, and you believe beauty is objectively real. That's what I mean. Like, you understand the things that God understands that go beyond the physical.
No, I don't.
That's at least one facet of being made in the image of God.
His thoughts are not my thoughts. I don't understand.
Well, yes, he's obviously going to be perfect because you're not. You're a fallen being. But to be made in the image of God is to, at least in some measure, reflect him spiritually, is the core point of my argument. So if the criterion for being made in the image of God is a spiritual criterion, how does being a chimera violate that, is what I'm getting at. Because it can't, to be made in the image of God can't be a physical criterion because he doesn't have a body. So,
well, I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, it affected their behaviors too. Like, if you got the mind of a horse, you're going to be a little freaking...
But, did we know that they had the mind of a horse, these chimeras?
No, but if you look at the mythology, like what I was saying earlier, minotaurs were really, like, ornery and hateful. I mean, because they had a horse brain, dude. Horses are mean. Like,
I thought they were very loyal and majestic, Cody.
Well, not when they have a person sticking off of their freaking head.
Makes
their neck hurt.
So, but are they irritable horses or irritable people? Are they mad that they got a human head, or are they mad that they got horse legs?
I mean,
what are they mad about?
I'd be mad about something if I was half a horse. I mean,
Oh wow, this is a silly conversation.
You pick up behaviors too.
Okay. No, I mean, okay. Well, it's an interesting hypothetical. We should probably move on. I guess we could keep talking in circles if we want, but
yeah,
Yeah,
we can move on.
I mean, it's a interesting philosophical question. I'm going to go with the angle that they're sentient, though. So, because I think that's more interesting. I don't think I could... Huh? Chimeras. Chimeras being sentient in the book that I'm... in the series that I'm currently on. So, yeah, that was the angle. Because that's more interesting to me. I don't think having a horse-minded centaur would be a very interesting plot development myself.
No, it wouldn't.
It seems like that'd be kind of boring.
Yeah,
so
because it would make sense.
That's actually that's a fairly truthful statement. That makes too much sense to be interesting. So, okay, Moving on. Where were we? Let me think. Let's see. But for the record, I think this is based on my memory from the cultural situation. They would commonly like run outsiders out at this time by like raping, R-wording them, YouTube, and kicking them out and that kind of thing. So I don't think they knew they were angels, and I think if they knew they were angels, they probably would not have attacked Lot's house the way they did, given what happens here in a few verses. So let me figure out where I was. Yeah, okay, know them. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, though, is just like how awful it is that Lot offered his daughters. I just think that's just... I feel like that's relevant. This might be reading too much into it, but from an allegory standpoint, I kind of feel like that's America in a nutshell, given the current climate.
Who did we give?
Oh, thank you, Jess. Appreciate it. So we're looking and sounding good, by the way. If you don't mind, kind of keep an eye on us, especially here in the next hour when we start talking about Bondi and we start playing clips, because that's when the lag usually kicks in. So thanks. Appreciate it. So anyway, yeah, I feel like there's an allegory there. Not intentionally so, obviously, but, just this idea of we're going to sacrifice our children. You know what I mean? Like, hey, here's my daughters. Don't beat me up. Like, don't violate my role as guest or whatever. Here's my kids. I feel like there's something there. Maybe I'm reading in too much into it. What do you think?
I can't resonate with that at all. I don't understand.
You don't think America's like willing to sacrifice its kids to benefit itself?
America doesn't have any kids. You and I have kids. America has no kids.
Well, what about the culture of America, the people collectively, or I guess what I'm talking about is like the general apathy with this Epstein case, for example. Like, you have like all these innocent kids being attacked, and everybody's like, who cares about the Epstein files? Who cares? Move on. Nobody cares about that case. It's an internet phenomenon,
I mean, it's just...
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I just kind of feel like it's
disturbing. People are like, they're downtrodden. Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do?
You think they're dejected?
You get mad? You get mad and do what? What are you going to do about it?
Well, I can't say it online because it's probably illegal. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could take a boat and go to Epstein Island and, start lobbing grenades, but like, it's not. You're probably going to get shot. I wouldn't. I don't know. What are you going to do, man?
Well, I think a lot of what's being done right now is the right thing. It's just the people that are pushing it are in the minority, I think, which is kind of... But it's not much of a minority. It's not the same kind of minority that people kind of make it out to be. You know what I mean? Because it's like... It's not as bad as it was in the 90s. Maybe I should stay. Jess is saying, you stopped. I lost you after what do you think? So let me check the live stream really quick. Come on. Apologies, folks. I've got to keep doing this. Jess is saying you stopped. We're good on YouTube. And we're still cranking on Rumble. So I don't know what they're talking about. Or what she's talking about. I don't know what you mean, Jess. I think it's your phone. Because you have an Apple, and Apple sucks. So, anyway, sorry. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But I just feel like there's a parallel between Lot wanting to give up his kids and just kind of like the apathy to like children suffering in some circles. But maybe that's just me. And Jess says, okay, you're back. Great. What do you think?
Sorry, what did you say about Apple? What?
I said she probably lost us because her phone is an Apple and Apple sucks. I hate...
At least they don't sell your data to everybody.
They just use slave labor. So, everybody's terrible. Again, sacrificing the young to benefit the old. Anyway, it's an inversion of the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. Am I reading too much into that?
Yeah, I don't think I don't see the parallel.
Okay, well, then we'll move on. Just food for thought, though. This entire country might be in a Lot state of mind, maybe. Or I'm just reading too much into the script. I'm adding to the Bible like a heathen. Anyway.
Yeah, you could be right. I don't know, man.
So, all right, well, we'll move on. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now we will deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. Jess says, you suck! Not really, joke. Thank you. Thank you. All right, and weary themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, and they smote the men that were, good night. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. Now, that's something I never realized. The daughters that were with him were like the only ones that hadn't been married. But he had other kids in the city, and I guess they died. Which is really... I just never caught that before, so I don't know.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. So...
yeah, so the whole city was evil. They killed his kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, God destroyed the city and they died in the city, so I guess they were...
Oh, they were... Okay. Never mind.
Yeah. So, okay. Where were
15?
we at? Huh?
15?
15? Okay. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-laws. Okay, chapter 15. Yes, okay, you're right. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth, and sent him without the city. Okay, so not yet. Okay, and it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my lord. Now, behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight. Now, behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. So it sounds like he's scared of being killed in the mountains. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape.
So, hang on.
Yes.
So it says, he's like, it's a little city. Can I go to the little city? So it's almost like it's exemplifying that the bigger a city gets, the more morally corrupt it becomes.
I don't think that's entirely unfounded. Yeah. I don't know if that's the point it's trying to make, but I do think that there's a correlation there, perhaps.
Yeah.
Jess, I remember when Jess went to New York, she said when she went there, she could easily see why people became atheists. Because all you do is look up at men's creation, and you get to thinking you're hot crap, being surrounded by man's stuff all the time. But, you know, if you're out in nature and you're surrounded by God's stuff, then you tend to believe in God. Yeah. That was kind of her idea. So, and I agree with it. I don't think that's entirely unfounded.
Yeah.
So.
22.
22?
Yep.
Okay, great. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. For I cannot do anything till thou become thither. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. So
Don't look at the past.
Yeah. So I guess she was still, they say she was still in love with the city, and that's why it happened. But anyway.
Isn't that funny that like a salty woman that comes from this verse? It's funny.
I hadn't thought about that, but that makes sense, huh? Interesting. Okay. All right. I lost my spot again. 27. And Abraham gate up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked towards...
Gat up? It said gat up.
Gat up.
Said, hey, gat up.
Yeah. And he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. Overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zoar, and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Benami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. Functional family.
That's an interesting story there.
I don't know what to make of it, because Lot's like, hey, I have these 2 women that haven't known a man, and it's like, I don't know what to, it's like, I feel bad saying they got even with them. I don't think that's the takeaway, but I don't know what else to make of that story. It's just like, that is all kinds of dysfunctional.
It's interesting, as I said.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but interesting.
Ammon's like bad though, right?
The Ammonites, yeah, they're bad. They're one of the bad groups.
Are the Moabites bad?
Yes.
Oh,
they become a problem in Judges.
They were like cursed people.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I think that's a point. I think that's a valid point. had bad beginnings, bunch of dysfunctional traditions. It all started with that particular incident. So,
Yeah. Wild, man.
that is wild. And that is chapter 19. I guess next week we will move on to chapter 20. But we're gonna call it good for tonight, at least on this part. So if you're watching us on the live stream, stay with us. We got 3 more segments left. If you are watching this after the fact, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Deuces.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.